Hi students, this is Uma Mageshwari from St. Joseph's College of Arts and Science, Kadalur. This video is for the paper British Poetry 2. In this video, we are going to analyze the poem Journey of the Magi written by T.S. Eliot. Let's see the brief introduction about the poet. T.S. Eliot was an American-British poet, essayist, publisher, playwright, literary critic and editor. Was born on 26th September 1888 in St. Louis, Missouri to a prominent Boston Brahmin family. He moved to England in 1914 at the age of 25 and went on to settle and work and marry there. He became a British subject in 1927 at the age of 39, subsequently renouncing his American citizenship. Considered one of the 20th century's major poets, Eliot attracted widespread attention for his poem The Love Song of J. Alfred Prufrock in 1915, which was seen as a masterpiece of the modernist movement. His best-known poems are The Wasteland, published in 1922, The Howlerman, published in 1925, Ash Wednesday, 1930, and Four Quartets, 1943. He was also known for his 7 plays, particularly Murder in the Cathedral, published in 1935, and The Cocktail Party, published in 1949. He was awarded the Nobel Prize in Literature in 1948 for his outstanding pioneer contribution to present-day poetry. Eliot died of emphysema at his home in Kensington in London on 4th January 1965 and was cremated at Golders Green Crematorium. In accordance with his wishes, his ashes were taken to St. Michael and All Angels Church in Somerset. Let's see the introduction about the poem. Journey of the Magi is a 43-line poem written in 1927. It is one of 5 poems that Eliot contributed for a series of 38 pamphlets by several authors, collectively titled Ariel Poems, and released by British publishing house Faber and Goya. Published in August 1927, Journey of the Magi was the 8th in the series and was accompanied by illustrations drawn by American-born artist Edward McKnight Kauffer. The poems, including Journey of the Magi, were later published in both editions of Eliot's collected poems in 1936 and 1963. Let's discuss the theme of the poem. Journey of the Magi is a poem that explores the journey the wise men took when following the star to Bethlehem, where the Christ child was born. It's a metaphorical poem representing both birth and death, renewal and spiritual rebirth. The speaker is a Magi whose narrative is split into 3 stanzas: the journey to the birthplace and the doubt, the arrival, the prefiguring and satisfaction, the reflection and acknowledgement of a new faith. Interestingly, there is no mention of gold, frankincense, and myrrh, a star, or the name Jesus. There is no indication that these Magi are Persian astrologers or Zoroastrian priests come to welcome the Messiah. Let's move on to analyzation of the poem Journey of the Magi. Stanza 1. A cold coming we had of it, just the worst time of the year for a journey, and such a long journey, the ways deep and the weather sharp, the very dead of winter, and the camels galled, sore-footed, refractory, lying down in the melting snow. There were times we regretted the summer palaces on slopes, the terraces, and the silken girls bringing sherbet. Then the camel men cursing and grumbling, and running away, and wanting their liquor and women, and the night fires going out, and the lack of shelters, and the cities hostile, and the towns unfriendly, and the villages dirty, and charging high prices. A hard time we had of it. At the end, we preferred to travel all night, sleeping in snatches, with the voices singing in our ears, saying that this was all folly. In the first stanza, there is a tale of woe, reflecting the plod of the camels and the monotony of the journey. A feeling of hardship and challenge emerges as the stanza progresses, but note that the Magi had also experienced the high life for a while, relaxing in summer palaces, perhaps at the start of their journey, or back in their homeland, when blue skies and silken girls with sherbet made life enjoyable. So the Magi had to endure the challenges of real life as they journeyed on. They were tested to the limit and in the end decided to travel at night to avoid the sordid unpleasantries of cities and towns. The speaker certainly had doubts about their mission, thinking it foolish, and the voices could have been their own or those from dreams and nightmares. Let's see the stanza 2. Then at dawn we came down to a temperate valley, wet below the snow line, smelling of vegetation, with a running stream and a watermill beating the darkness, and 3 trees on the low sky, and an old white horse galloped away in the meadow. Then we came to a tavern with wine leaves over the lintel, 6 hands at an open door, dicing for pieces of silver, and feet kicking the empty wine skins. But there was no information, and so we continued and arrived at evening, not a moment too soon, finding the place. It was, you may say, satisfactory. Let's analyze stanza 2. The second stanza brings some relief and represents the second stage of spiritual process. However, these lines also bring into question the idea of time. The Magi arrive at dawn seeking information and manage to get there in the evening, not a moment too soon, which is an odd phrase. In between, the speaker describes the various things they come across, which are all symbolically related to the future life of the Christ figure. There is much allusion from the 3 trees, that means crucifixion on Calvary, to the wineskins, which means the parable. The meanings are clear. And that curious offline, it was satisfactory, suggests that the speaker was not too impressed with the place of birth, was even a little disappointed. Perhaps this also refers to the idea that the place, although important, is not as crucial to change as the journey itself. Let's see the last stanza. All this was a long time ago, I remember, and I would do it again, but sit down, this where we led all that way for. Birth or death? There was a birth certainly. We had evidence and no doubt. I had seen birth and death, but had thought they were different. This birth was hard and bitter agony for us, like death, our death. We returned to our places, these kingdoms, but no longer at ease here. In the old dispensation, with an alien people clutching their gods, I should be glad of another death. In the third stanza, the Magi looks back, reflecting on the event itself, and coming to the conclusion that in birth there is always death. They learnt a hard lesson, one that is personal yet also universal. Note the syntax stretching and narrowing as the speaker puts the experience into a perspective and asks that most potent of questions, birth or death. Out of the old comes the new, and with it the death and the birth. Spiritual, cultural, and psychic processes all undergo and change and questioning. What was once familiar now seems alien, which can cause doubt and disorder. Life is a journey, a struggle, but all humans have to go through it, often reaching moments in their lives when a threshold has to be gotten over. Sometimes, new understanding has to take place in order for this spiritual transformation to happen. This is a short summary of the poem Journey of the Magi. Let's analyze form, meter, rhyme scheme used in the poem. Form. Journey of the Magi is a dramatic monologue written from the perspective of one of the 3 wise men from the Christian Bible who visited baby Jesus after his birth. As with a number of Eliot's most famous poems, it does not follow an established poetic form. It unfolds over 3 stanzas of different shapes and lengths. The first stanza consists 20 lines, the second stanza consists 11, and the third stanza consists 12 lines. The stanzas represent distinct stages in the poem's development. Meter used in the poem is free verse, meaning there is no consistent meter. Eliot does carefully manage the rhythmic sound of its lines. Rhyme scheme. There is no rhyme scheme, indeed, except for a couple of internal rhymes, like 3 trees in line number 24. There are no obvious rhymes in it at all. Thank you.